welcome to Clouder Convos. I'm your host, Alexa Kade, Clouder's Chief Operating Officer. I'm excited to be joined by two members from the Web Scribble team today, Director of Customer Success, Danielle Mahoney, and Sales Manager, Evin O'Shea. We're going to talk about the importance of providing your professional community with a vibrant career hub, as well as the current hiring landscape. As always, we want to encourage viewers to join the conversation in our Clouder Convos forums, in our free Clouder demo app, or on Twitter using the hashtag ClouderConvos. Well, let's get started. Danielle, would you like to give a brief overview of what Web Scribble is for those who may not know?
Sure. Thanks so much for having us today. Web Scribble has been around since 2002, and we build career centers that are just exclusively for associations to really help them connect their thousands of job seekers and employers. And the goal is really to drive more member benefits and to always generate more non-dues revenue, of course.
Absolutely. Driving the bottom line. It's super important.
Of course.
Evin, what are the trends that you're seeing in the world of hiring and recruitment right now?
Yeah, so it's no secret right now, hiring and recruitment is crazy. There's a huge demand. A lot of employers are very shorthanded, so it's very competitive. I think that's attributed a lot to that the job change is on the mind of nearly half of all U.S. employees. And in the month of October alone, 531,000 jobs were added in October. So that's a significant increase year over year. It's definitely not slowing down. I'm sure that you've heard a lot about the Great Resignation. Maybe you haven't. If you haven't, you could have been under a rock, but the Great Resignation it's meaning businesses right now are facing all-time high quit rates. 4 million Americans quit their jobs in July alone this year. So it just kind of speaks to right now the war on talent and what my team helps bridge that gap.
And to actually follow up on that, because I think you bring up a really great point. I am familiar with the Great Resignation. I don't know that all of our viewers will be, but Associations Now just put out a really great article on it. And in this next question, if you could touch on it a little bit more, I'm curious to hear if there are any industries in particular that are experiencing this more than others from what you know, what you've seen, what you've heard in relation to the Great Resignation and just all of this stuff going on with the job market right now.
Some of the major players are restaurants, hospitality, retail. They were hit extremely hard. Obviously, those are all customer-facing jobs for the most part. So they could not go remote. So those are definitely some that are seeing a lot of challenges currently. And again, we just try to help out over here with making sure that we have we're tapping into the passive candidate as well as the active candidate. But overall, right now, it is not fun to be an employer looking for help.
Yeah, I can attest to that myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So building on that even more, with all of the association partners that Web Scribble has helped, what do you think is the biggest reason why associations want or need a career center? You're talking about this kind of exodus, this need. So what do you feel like is really prompting them in that space?
I think that one of the main reasons is the member benefit. It's something that if they have members of their association that are looking for jobs, we're able to put those jobs in front of their memberships and also provide those career resources to help support them. And one of the things that we say is, and if an association helps a member land their next job opportunity, then they have a member for life, So they want to make sure that it's also geared more towards a career hub. Members don't have to leave the association's website. All the career resources and tools are right there, readily available to help them in that journey. And then that association then in turn becomes the go-to resource for all the things related to that member's career career search, as well as their career planning.
And then let's just admit that you're taking a lot of the heavy lifting off their plate, right? Or the the individuals, since you're giving them access to this resource, this benefit, they have to do a lot less of the hunting on their own.
Absolutely. The hunting is the worst part. So
yeah, it's more than half the battle for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Danielle, in our conversations prior to this episode, you and I've chatted quite a bit, and you've mentioned that you've had a great success story from one of your clients. And I think that this is a good time to actually get into a little bit more about how all of this works. So I think you brought up the National Association of Social Workers. Do you want to dive a bit more into that relationship?
Sure. So the National Association of Social Workers, or we say NASW, they're the largest network of professional social workers actually in the world. And they have, I think, about 120,000 members and right around 55 chapters nationwide. And they just had an underperforming job board for years. Their revenue was consistently going down, and especially in this time where social workers are needed, right? So they should be growing. We should have a strategy behind that. And they decided, it's time for a change. We really need to figure out how we can better serve our members and the employers, because again, especially during this time when there's such a need for social workers, they should be a really hot topic and the job, a big need in the job industry. And this just really came from lack of communication with their old their job board, and again not having a strategy behind that. So when they transitioned over to Web Scribble, we really decided to put a strategy behind it, having dedicated meetings, my monthly meetings. I meet with Shauna, who's our contact over there, and just talking about what are the ways and what are you hearing? What's that feedback? How can we make this a better member experience on the user side for job seekers and the employers, and constantly trying to figure out how can we work together, collaborate on coming up with new ideas for generating that non-dues revenue. Even we were seeing employers trying to figure out, we don't want to just post jobs on your job board. How can we work with you to post the job, and also maybe figure out, can we post this on your social media, and bridging that gap and allowing them to kind of bundle that into figuring out how to get in front of the correct job seekers.
Yeah, it sounds like strategy is really important, because you can post all day long, but if you don't have a strategy around it, then who are you reaching, or what's the mechanics behind it to ensure that it's getting out there? Kind of speaking to that, what are the results that the National Association of Social Workers, or NASW, was able to achieve within the first year of kind of moving from one partnership to partnering with Web Scribble?
Yeah, I think it's also really interesting what you just said, because I kind of laughed, because I always say that, people, and Evin can attest to this too, sometimes people will come to us and they're like, we want this this job board, and they don't understand that there has to be strategy behind it if they want this to be a big part of their non-dues revenue, and especially an important member benefit, that you need to have strategy and push traffic and get this in front of people. They're not just going to come to the board if they don't know that it's there, or that you're pushing it out in front of them. They had really good results. So in the first year, the member engagement increased significantly. Job seeker engagement was up, I think, something like 4 times. The post on LinkedIn were over, I think, tripled. And they even did a career fair. So that's another way that we can connect employers and job seekers. So they had the best turnout ever. I think we had over 1,000 attendees and maybe 80 exhibitors, so 80 employers. That just shows you how many employers are trying to connect. On the revenue side, we're excited to say that we were able to increase the revenue. I think it's over 120% as of December. So that's really exciting for them and for us to see that relationship.
Say it louder, Danielle.
What'd you say?
Say it louder.
Not that that has anything to do with Evin, right?
Right.
So, but yeah, so they're thrilled, and we really started to see the trend with that revenue within the first few months that they joined with us. So it's been we're really proud of our kind of that relationship, and it's what we're good at, right? Putting a strategy behind it and helping these boards that might not know what to do kind of come around and start to grow in different ways.
Well, I think, while Web Scribble offers a specific product set similar to us here at Clouder, what I hear from a lot of our conversation right now and conversations that we've had together as a group, not in this recording, is just that overall we're helping the association get in front of their members by one service or another, which is just increasing the value that the members see, which overall increases the bottom line. So when you have a strategy in place for things like the important job board or mobile initiatives, or insert any other initiative that's really going to help drive member value, that's it, right? Like that's what matters, is members seeing value so that they renew and you keep that retention.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up, here's a question to you both. What parting words do you have for our audience wanting to be a go-to career resource for their community?
I think associations are already positioned to bring everyone together. So I think what better way to support members through this crazy time than to give them the best career resources. By doing that, you're also giving members exactly what they're looking for, and we can help them land their next dream job or their next career. That would be my input.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess mine is that if you're not getting the most and you're really unsatisfied of your career center, that you should make a switch. Definitely start figuring out what is that strategy that you should be working towards. And for those that might be like, hey, we don't even have one, start figuring out if it makes sense for you. I'm sure it does. I mean, there's associations of all sizes that have job boards, some more focusing on the revenue, others on just member engagement. So kind of figuring out what makes sense, and working with somebody who can help figure out what that customized solution looks like for you, right? Helping your association, helping the members, and reach out to us even for just a conversation, and we're happy to chat and see if we can talk a little bit through strategy and help you wherever you're at. You can visit our website at webscribble.com, and feel free to reach out to us at any point.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you both so much for joining me today, Danielle and Evin. I really appreciate the conversation. It was great to look inside the Web Scribble world, the job board world, what that market looks like. If you want to know more about their offerings, you can visit webscribble.com, as Danielle mentioned, or you can email Evin at webscribble.com. That's EVIN at webscribble.com. Also, don't forget to download our free Clouder demo app to interact with us and submit your comments or questions in the Clouder Combos forum. You can also use the hashtag Clouder Combos on Twitter. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, we'd greatly appreciate it if you gave us our video a like or shared it with others. Feel free to reach out as well, and make sure you don't miss any future episodes. We'll see you next time, and thank you both again for joining me.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.